Up there. Halfway. Yep, right there. Good. Let's go. Down.
Now we're here.
That's so heavy. That's so heavy, man.
Yeah.
Let's go down.
Yeah.
Good. Ready.
Wewe ama weka katikati hapa hivi. Alafu unaranda. Mtu alikuwa ameunda dube.
You're going to do thinning?
Let's finish there, then we can next step. Don't put on the line for pin. Make sure you know where the line is. No. The line is here. The line is here. You are putting on top of it. Is this the pin?
Even today you're sleeping.
Yeah. I love it.
I love it.
But I hope you do not.
Let's come. We are now winding up. These are the final stretches. Hello. Hello. Now for the last few minutes we go faster. We have to go to the last stages. Now you have planted. You have prayed for God to the rain to continue, bring up your crop. Now from the planting date, you wait for 7 to 10 days. You are in the farm. Make sure you are outside. You wait for 7 to 10 days for germination. Now after germination, they start coming up. Now when they germinate, there is something we call gapping, but not a must. You only do gapping if you have like 4 planting stations to get together. They don't have crops coming out, or 1 meter square. So 1 meter square is something like here, up to there. Why we are saying 4 planting stations? Maybe the whole of the 4 planting stations have not germinated. So those are 4 planting stations, not counting all the planting stations missing crops. Remember, you can miss here, but all of them have it. Then we are missing something there. That does not worry you. So make sure you use 1 meter square. So for you to do gapping, count how many planting stations are missing. Then maybe you come here, another 1 meter square is missing. Those are 8. Then you go to another place. 1 meter square or 4 planting stations all together. So with that one, how do you do gapping? You go. Now you have found you have 20 planting stations missing. You count how many seeds? Not now 3. You go back to 2. That's 40 seeds. You soak them for 6 hours.
Should still be 3.
Yes?
Should still plant 3.
3?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you have
Because
60.
you're still, thinning will still come.
60 of them.
Yeah.
Then you soak for 6 hours. Now when you come back to your farm, you don't come to dig the planting stations again. So you just come wherever they are missing. Wherever they are missing, let's say this planting station is missing. So you take your seeds, the 3 of them. The soaked ones. Yes. Look at these are your planting station. It's not having the crops. So you take the seeds. Now you don't dig, because if you dig, you bring out the inputs. So you take the planting station, the seeds I mean, then look at the length of the planting station. Push it down. How many centimeters? 5 centimeters. Just push it. 1, 2, 3. Enough. So you don't need to dig the planting stations again.
But be quick. Don't wait like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It will be behind. It will never catch up. 7 to 10 days.
7 to 10 days. You check. Then do the gapping. So now you wait for them to germinate.
The blanket when you plant, then you return.
Yeah, you remove the blanket.
Yeah, just so you can see the station properly.
Yeah.
Then you
What
place.
kind of water are you soaking with? Is it hot water?
No more. Okay, let's move to the next step.
That's a good question.
Yeah. No, it's no more water.
No.
Okay, attention. Now from gapping, from gapping, you wait for 14 days for you to do the first weeding. 10 days from when? From? From?
Planting.
We have planting, we have gapping, and we have weeding. 10 days, 14 days from which day?
From planting.
From planting.
From planting, not from gutting. You see, some are saying from gutting. We want to get it right from here. From planting. You do the first weeding. Now, how do we weed? If farming goes well, we don't weed everywhere. Where we take many hours. Now you have the blanket. It has killed most of the weeds. You start with removing there are some which you can just be plucked by the hand. But if you have some which are stronger, you cannot pull with your hand. You hold them to the ground, or you shave them. You see how the jembe is? Not like this. When you do like this, you're starting to open up the soil. So you hold them to the ground. And now you see how I'm moving. I'm not hoeing them like this. I'm not hoeing them. When you hold like this, you step on it again, you have planted it. So you hold them backwards. So you hold them going backwards and you leave them on the ground. Don't just go and pick them again. Want to throw them out again. So you hold them on the ground and leave them as marks. That cycle continues. After another 14 days, let's say it's the 10. Now the 24, you do another weeding. Then another 2 weeks. Put it on your calendar. When you do it 3 times, the canopy will be closing, and it will hinder the sun coming down to the ground for the weeds to grow. 3 times will be done, and no more weeds will be germinating.
Did we do our thinning, or the 3 seeds are enough?
We are not yet there.
So you are not yet there?
Yeah. So anyway, also try to move it. So after weeding, the next step is thinning now. Now we are coming to thinning. Thinning is 2 to 3 weeks after germination. Are we together? 2 to 3 weeks after germination. Now for thinning, you have your planting station here.
That one's tough. Just push them.
Now we said we have to remain with 6 planting stations for 3.
6.
For 3.
No, you say it the other way.
3 planting stations should have 6 seedlings. Now we have 9 here. We have a class there behind, please. That team behind. Now you have 9 seedlings here. We want to do thinning. First come to this planting station. Which one are you going to remove here?
Middle one.
The middle one. Why? It's the shortest.
Weak.
The weak and also short. So you need to, they have to be the same. Look at here. Middle is not healthy. We remove it. How about if it was healthy? These ones are almost the same height. So if you remove this one, and let's say this was not healthy, this one will cover this one. So if this one was healthy, make sure you remove the longer one because it will overshadow the other one, the remaining one. Here we have 3 of them. Which one are you going to remove from here?
The last one.
The last one, because these ones are almost the same. The same. Then when you finish these 3 planting stations, you come to the next 3 planting stations. And the way Anton said, you have to be careful. You don't know where you ended. Maybe you are ending here, but you are starting from here. No. Now you make sure you start from this side, going like that. So if you have 7 remaining like this one, what are you going to do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you don't tamper with this one. The other one, you only work on this one, whereby you remove the middle one. You remain with 6. If you had 3 here, nothing was here, you have 2.
You leave them.
You leave them. Maybe they'll be covered by some other spaces down there. So that's how we do the thinning. Now after thinning, the next step.
Before you go to the next step, I have a question.
Yes.
There are 2 processes here. There's gapping and there's thinning. Sylvia?
Yes. Gapping was done long time.
Yes. Still my question is there. When there's allowance for gapping, when you are planting, why do you have to plant 3, which you are going to thin later? Why can't you plant 2 in case there's 1 phase, then you rather gap than to thin?
No. That will be a lot of work. Now can you imagine you have 1 hectare?
I think you repeat the question. People have not heard the question.
No, he said, because that you, instead of planting 3, you plant 2, then if they will not germinate, you start doing gapping in all the planting stations.
Why can't you just start with 2, and in case 1 fails, you gap, rather than removing that to this?
You'll have a huge portion of your field which is behind. Will never catch up. Never catch up. Remember, what's the germination rate? Is it 100%? No. Not. So you're going to, even the 2 you plant will not, like, now you've got 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 0, 2, 1. Are you anywhere close to a 2 average? How can you even get 2 average when you've started with 2? Because you need some 3s to compensate for some which don't make it to 2. So we must start with 3 seeds, thinning down to an average of 2 seedlings. Don't just, maybe we can just say, take our word. This is what works. You don't want to get caught doing a lot of gapping, because the only reason that gapping works is because it's in an open area. There's sun and space. Gapping, we have told you not to gap when there's 1 gap, another gap there. We don't gap on 1, because there's not enough space for us to plant those seeds and they'll grow. It's not enough area. We trust the plants on the outside will compensate. So gapping is only done in areas where there's a big space for light and water and sun. When you want to gap here, 1 there, 1 there, let me tell you, it won't work. You'll just have little maize and the ones will be way ahead. It will never catch up.
At the same time, let's say you are doing 1 hectare, so you need to count like 10,000 holes which are having 1. How long will it take? Then you come and count the seeds, 10,000 of them. You come and start gapping 10,000 planting stations.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of work.
From the learning of yesterday in thinning,
Yeah.
I heard that you said we look at 3 planting stations. First to identify whether 6 of them are there before we identify the weak ones to remove.
Yeah, I think you did that process.
Yes. Still, you can identify, but at the same time, you have 3 here, nothing here, 3 here.
Exactly.
That is fine.
3 of them.
You leave it.
Yes.
You have another 3 planting stations. 3, 2, 1. That's 6. Go to the next planting station as quick as possible. You don't want to
Don't stress yourself.
You don't complicate things.
Yeah.
Now after gutting, after thinning I mean, we do top dressing. In case you are using urea, you do not have manure at the first start. Maybe you have used 350 ml, you want to top dress with urea, or you use 350 ml, or you use the DAP, you want to put urea. Now we said, maybe if you are doing 2 top dresses, one is done at 4 weeks after germination. Immediately you do your thinning like today, tomorrow you do the top dress. And how do you do the top dress? Come with a teaspoon flat on the upper side, because the land is sloping. On the upper side, 7 centimeters, that's 3 fingers. Get your urea.
No, we don't have urea.
Okay.
But just show that action.
Get a teaspoon. Get it from the source where you're getting it. Up slope.
Maybe move away from that where there's a permanent peg.
Yeah.
So they see.
Now you have. Let me use this one. We have our plant. Our crops are here. Now you just remove the blanket a little bit. Pour it. And this one should be at the center. Some people tend to put it on one side. Then one of them will take it, and the other one is not taking it. Make sure it is at the center of the 2 crops. When you finish, push back your ghost blanket. So yeah, that one will be top dressing. So you do that one for all the planting stations. Yes?
Okay, let us assume that you planted the maize and you had 500 yards of
Yes.
that you put in, or the then, so I don't need to do the urea, but I want to do like a foliar supplement. Is that advisable?
For maize?
Yeah, or whatever crop it is that I have planted.
So foliar supplements and foliar feeding has become popular, and it usually only works because they're not feeding the plant from the root. It's like going for injection when you should, instead of eating. So I'm not saying it doesn't work, but it's like going for what is really extraordinary and what is the right word? So let me repeat the question. She wants to know if I fed my plant 500 mils, I'm not going to top dress, but I would like to use one of the foliar feeding sprays. There are many. They're out there. You can spray them on your plant, and your plant does absorb a little bit of nutrients on the leaves, a little bit, not much. I think the reason that these have become popular is that people really don't feed their crops. So when they spray a foliar spray, they do get a response, because it's like, of course, if you give someone who's starving some food, it will make a difference. But we are doing the basics, we're doing the right thing, we're feeding the crop from the roots. It's generally quite healthy. I think the financial gain would be very minimal of a foliar spray. Your plant it's okay, basically it's doing fine. I would basically call it wasted money. Unless there are very rare cases, and I don't know if you have the problem here, there are very certain micronutrients in certain soils which are missing, and you can spray a micronutrient on the leaf. But I doubt you're in that situation. In Canada we had, I think it was copper or zinc missing in our soil. So we do a foliar spray of copper or zinc. You buy, but I mean that's expensive, and you have to know exactly that thing is missing. But I don't think we have those exact issues here. I always say, don't worry about all the tricks people use. We're doing the basic things. You don't need to start popping Panadols. You're eating healthy, right? Your food, your crops you're doing all the basic things to feed the crop. Let's not worry about these peripheral things that people spend money on. They get benefit because they're not doing much. We're doing the right things. I think we're generally be okay. Yeah.
Sometimes we also consider the Garden of Eden as the template. When we see what God did in the Garden of Eden, it was quite clear that the soils were healthy.
Yeah.
Though if you read that particular verse in Genesis chapter 2, there's an interesting part of it that actually talks about 4 rivers flowing from.
which is quite unusual. It tells you a lot about the quality and the health of that environment. And so if we stick to those basics as the example or as a template, then it becomes easier.